Okay, so hi everybody. Um, you may have just seen me 5 seconds ago. Somebody stupidly made me the administrator, so I have to try and add Sophie. Um, there we go. Let's hope she accepts my invite. I don't know how to do this. Whose bright idea was it to give it to me? Um, hey, there she
Hey,
is.
we did it! Yay!
I did it. I've achieved something. I
I
feel
saw it go. Caitriona
incredibly.
Balfe started a live video, and then it went live video has ended.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi everyone, we
Yeah.
made it.
We did. We made it. There's some questions, I guess, right?
Yes,
I'm gonna find those.
we need two phones. We should have just done this
We
together so that we didn't have
we should have just got in
this
the same
idiot
room
proof.
and chatted because this is not the high quality entertainment that people have come to know and expect from us.
Now turned
Um,
into a comedy. So
yes. Oh, here I have some. Okay. All right.
Jamie
You know,
Dornan just put, "Is the show any good?" By the way, on a comment.
is that what he said? Jamie Dornan, you're
So,
supposed to be actually doing some work and not wasting your time on Instagram. So get back to work.
touche. She
Um,
did it.
all right. I'm going to ask you a question, Sophie Skelton.
Uh-oh.
First of all, season 6, everybody.
Right?
Pretty,
And still
pretty
going
damn
strong.
exciting.
Thanks.
What is a question
Mm.
that
Oh, no.
no one has ever asked you in an interview that you would
Oh,
love to have been asked, other than this one?
other than that one, do you know what? I do feel really sorry for people who have to think of questions because we do get asked a lot of the same ones, don't we? And I can imagine it's
Yeah.
hard to come up with something original. And now I'm that person and I have to come up with something original. Um, if I would like scenes in the very far future, like if
Ooh.
Claire and Brie could go to like 3000, the year 3000 or something. Now I've got a
Oh.
Bushwood song, but you know.
I thought you meant like, when they were like 70. Or do you want to go like to
Oh yeah,
space?
70. All right, 70. Can we just be in an old people's home, just by the water? It's very calm. There's no Christies. There's no battles. It's all good, and we've got
Does
a nice
Claire
little
still
space
have her
around.
teeth? Who knows?
She does, yeah.
Check in
Brianna,
next week to find out.
yeah, Brianna invented the electric toothbrush in the 1700s. So you're fine. Your teeth look great.
Oh, good, good, great. That
All
was
there.
very, very, very thoughtful of her.
Um, do I ask you one now?
Well, I seem to have the questions. Why don't I just keep going?
Perfect.
I'll just do that.
Oh, complicated.
And then we can both answer. Is there a favorite? And this is from Tiny Tunny. That last one was from Just Michelle 511. Is there a favorite blooper moment from this season that you think will be on the gag reel?
Oh, do you know we shot so long ago now, and our memory's not that
I know
good.
that's the thing. I never like that's why the blooper reels are always so funny because you forget it all.
Yeah,
And then
we
you
see them
see it
differently.
and like I end up usually when I get it, I just end up everyone's like, "Why are you laughing so much?" Because I'm crying laughing. And I always think, do other people see this as funny as we do?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I think we just we go a bit delirious, don't we, when we're shooting? And I do get asked the question a lot though, who laughs the most on set? And I was like, when you and Sam start laughing, or the three of us start, it's like that's it. The day's gone. We just can't stop.
So bad. I feel like there was a dinner table scene early on.
I think
I just
the matches,
The
right? Was
matches,
quite
I think you were trying
actually.
to
I
light
nearly
those
set myself
matches.
and Sam on fire.
Yeah.
It actually went down my corset at one point. A little ember sparked down my corset. And I was like, "Oh, have I been doing this?" Just like jumping around the room.
That was actually, yeah, that was a funny day. I'm sure some
Always
of that will make it.
in the bloopers. It's when we're all together, isn't it? It's a really bad recipe for giggle fest
We get
disaster.
very naughty. We're like naughty school children, and usually whoever's firsting tries to wrangle us and tell us to behave, and we're always like,
We're like,
it's very childish. Okay, this is a more serious question, and it's at Goyish76, and it's for both of us. Since both of your characters have suffered sexual abuse, how do you describe the relationship between mother-daughter after the traumatic events, and how they help each other to recover?
well, I think we talked about it a lot, didn't we, in terms of showing how different people deal with trauma and different ways to heal or try to heal, and different ways to help people when they're going through it. So I think it brings them closer, and obviously they know what they've been through, don't they? And I think just showing that Brianna's there for Claire, but can recognize that Claire doesn't want to talk about it, I think is a really good thing that we have, isn't it? Just to show people that actually you don't have to force people to speak, you don't have to speak, but just that reminder that someone's there to listen if you do want to is, I think, brings them closer.
Well, I think that was what's really beautiful about their relationship this season, is that understanding. And it's like, you really do see Brie giving Claire the space, but then Claire really needs her at a certain time. And it's like, you have that lovely kind of connection between the two. But I think it was really important to both of us, about exploring different ways that people react to sexual assault and also recover from, and I think that was something important that we tried to highlight.
Yeah.
All right. So at Il Maquier, I think, for all, well, since we got ditched by the boys, it's just for us.
We dropped like flies. Here we are.
What was the episode that challenged you creatively the most?
Do you want to go first, or?
I think the episode that challenged me the most creatively, I think episode 6. I think it's I haven't seen it, so I'm not quite sure how it's turned out, but we definitely, stylistically, they were kind of going with a new thing. And also, it took us a while to get to the script it's hard to say it without giving stuff away, but we're really exploring, I guess, Claire's inner voice. And I think, for all of us to sort of get on the same page with what we thought that was in a way that we were all happy with, took a minute. And I think, I think we got there, and I hope when I see it, I'll be really happy, but I'm not sure. What about you?
Well, I'm going to pretend I know what you're talking about, because I can't remember which app was which, but I think I know what you're talking about. And it sounds like it's going to be super powerful. I think, to be honest, I think it was maybe more, if we're going to sound creatively, well, I'll do a logistic answer in terms of having kids on set, having Jemmy run around and stuff. We have a lot of lovely scenes with the Mackenzie family this season, but yeah. The kids tend to complicate it more than we do, don't they? We might be more childish, but
we're big kids. But yes, there's a lot of wrangling with little kids too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. If you had to be stranded on an island with only one character from the show for an entire month, there's an ant on my phone. Which character would it be?
Is that your desert island pal? This little ant.
My ant. Why is there an ant on my phone? Yes, who would you choose to be stranded with?
This is quite pathetic, but I'd probably choose Rolo. But I think practically I'd probably choose Claire. If you're on an island,
I was going to choose Brianna, because I was just desert island. We'd figure out how to turn those coconuts into some very good daiquiris.
We could.
And we would have a lot of fun.
Out, have a swim, have a laugh. Yeah. It'd be great. There you go.
Just very extended holiday until
have a dance party.
Jamie and Roger came and pretended they were saving us, and we'd let them think that.
Of course, yes. Thank you. We couldn't make our own way off here. I'm an engineer, but thanks, Roger. Thanks for the historical facts about rafts. Appreciate it.
All right. So V Ronnie's has asked, what have you learned from working with each other?
Oh, what have we learned from working with each
All right, I'll go first. One
other?
thing I've learned from you, and it's a very good thing you do, sometimes when things aren't working on set and you're asking about notes and stuff, when I do it, I get very emotional and I get very like, I go from calm to very emotional quite quickly sometimes. And, you know, sometimes I can get slightly frustrated quickly, but you have an amazing capacity to stay calm. And it's such a good lesson. You're very methodical in your dissection of things and why it isn't working, but you're very, very calm when you are trying to find solutions. And I've definitely tried. I'm still trying, but I've definitely tried to absorb some of that.
Well, thank you. In your defense, corsets don't help remain calm, do they? Let's be honest.
No.
Like that is anything. I think from you, it would probably be the fact we work in such tough conditions and people can often forget about the crew or essays or what they're going through. And you are very, very good at taking care of everybody and fighting for them to have, you know, heaters and make sure everybody is taken care of. And it's a big credit to you because not a lot of number ones would even think about it. So, yeah.
Well, show doesn't get made without them.
Exactly. But some
And
people
they are
aren't that
very
cool.
integral and important to the whole process. So
Yep.
anyone who's a first AD or anyone who's a producer or anyone, remember to look after everybody.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's just as important.
Exactly. Okay, Wakeful Wife asks, it's Caitriona, you've said you use music to get into characters' headspace, but for everyone, what's on your playlist that helps you get into character?
Ooh.
Or do you use music?
I rarely use music, but music. I rarely use
I
music.
don't use music. I don't.
I don't do that. There was one song. I feel like it was an Enya song or something. It was just so I struggle to listen to sad music because it just makes me really sad. You know how some people can just cruise in the car listening to Adele? It's just not a good. It's not good for me. But then there was one. There was one when Brianna was having flashback scenes of the sexual abuse, and there was one song by, I think it was Enya. I have to find it now, but it was just very, very sad, and I would just sit in my trailer and just get all sad by myself, and then just walk on the set. So that's probably it. But yeah, I don't really tend to use it that much. But you do you? Don't you? You quite like using it.
I use music a lot. I just feel like it gets you, especially one of the things I find when you need to be in a certain space emotionally, and like the sets are so busy and people are doing so many things, and you know, the props guys need to do their job and the carpenters need to do their job, and there's just a lot of chaos and stuff going around. And so to keep myself in a certain, I don't know, it's like an emotional way, like there's
keep on that plane.
Yeah, so to sort of keep myself there, and I think it's a good way of keeping your senses open, maybe, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. I mean, you know, I love music in the
actor
morning. Talk. Mine's like the dance party trailer, isn't it? In the morning, it's just like
you definitely. We now, especially because of COVID, so our makeup trailer is like a long trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Four, I think it's supposed to have 6 seats, but really we only use it for 4. But then they separated the kids.
I know, we got split up.
Sophie and Richard down one end, and Sam and I are on the other. And they've closed it off because of COVID to sort of like separate everybody. And the music pumping from that end, the kids' end, and us two old granny and granddad on the other end, sort of like lumber on and want to put on our nice like mellow music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are like,
and I've got Justin Bieber Peaches, like, woo! Yeah, if I'm ever lost on set, just follow the music, you'll find me.
Exactly. All right. Megan Kathleen D, how do you feel that you've grown as an actor from the time you first started until now? Sophie.
Well, I think it's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? Doing a series that goes for this long. So I think you get so much more time to kind of be in your character. And I mean, we really do kind of spend all year round with our characters, don't we? Because if we're not shooting, we're either talking about them or doing press or waiting for the next scripts or working on that. So I feel like I've grown just in terms of being able to kind of trust my instincts a bit more, I think, and not kind of guilt trip myself if I've not done enough work, because I feel like I now know specifically for Brianna inside out that it just to kind of rest on your instincts and just, I don't know, I guess that really just trusting yourself, just having the confidence to know it's like
That's a big thing.
Yeah,
a huge thing.
what about you?
I want to say it's funny. We were talking sort of about this yesterday with someone, and when I first started, because I was so green and hadn't a clue, I used to find it really difficult if, like, you know, they had like a reflector board very close to me, or if I couldn't see the actor directly, or, you know,
Or if the
if the
boom's going like this
circumstances,
in your eye line.
yeah, and like things around the set, like if they were, I just wasn't used to the distractions, you know? And I think one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten so old in the tooth,
You look
but it's
so
just
old.
an ability to kind of zone those things out for the most part.
Mm-hmm. It's like have that tunnel vision. I can't remember what actor it was, but somebody said that they have slightly blurry vision, and actually they really like it because it just means that they can only focus on what's in front of them, and so when they're acting they like it because it does that. It just shuts out everything around you. It's quite interesting.
Maybe that's what's happened. My eyesight's just gotten really bad. I never wear my contacts. Maybe it's not technique at all. Maybe it's just I'm getting blinder.
Oh no. It's right. By season 15, we'll be like, Claire is focused.
Huh? Oh, okay. So at CB Sasanuk wants to us to describe our characters in the form of a drink.
Ooh, fun.
Ooh.
I mean, I feel like Claire and Brianna have so many personalities in one, and they have such an emotional range, don't they? I feel like it's just it's like tequila, get it all in.
They're not a drink; they're a cocktail menu.
Exactly. Yes. That's brilliant.
Yeah, let's stick with that. That's what they both are.
They're a cocktail menu.
Okay, then how long does it take you to get back into character when returning for a new season? And that's from at Keisha Joy _E.
I feel like it really is second nature to us now, isn't it? These characters, like I was saying before, we've been with them so long. I feel like you kind of slip into it relatively quickly. It's more the accent, I think. Sometimes I just need to like get back into doing American for a bit. Same. But you know, yeah.
Well, same with the English. There's always like a day or two where you're like, oh, is that what that word is in English? Like, is that how it sounds, or is that like, But there's a funny thing. There's like all of this apprehension about going back, and is it going to be the same, or is it going to feel different? And then, you know, you're doing the fittings and and then as soon as you get on set, it literally feels like the day after the last day you shot. You're like, oh god,
it's like day 217.
Day 780. But it's, I mean, the lovely thing about that is that you really do slide back in, but you know, very quickly you just feel like you've always been there.
Yeah. And I think, don't you find, Kat, because we shoot relatively quickly in the days, like we get a lot done, don't you feel like you don't really have the option to just not be straight back into it, do you? It's kind of, we don't have...
No, I mean, we hit the ground running, and that's kind of what you have to do.
And I suppose last season, well, season 6 was very much, we shot so out of order, didn't we? Didn't we shoot like eps 4 and 5 first or something? Or like... It was
no, we did 1, 2, and then we did 3 and 6.
Yeah, okay, and then 4 and 5.
4 and 5 were left till the very end.
Yeah.
So we did 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and then 4 and 5. Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. Keep us on our toes.
Why not?
Okay, so at Shelby, that's quite a good handle.
Cool.
What's it like to have so many bairns on set now? I think you sort of answered that.
We're a little traumatized, aren't we? By bands, do we mean the kids or do we mean Richard and Sam? Because Caitriona and I actually have to babysit all of them the same amount.
True. This is true. Okay, so Gigi Gen W. In real life situations, do you ever think, what would Claire do in this situation, or what would Brianna do in this situation?
That's quite a good one. What do you ever think of Claire in a situation?
I hope it's never like somebody I feel like one day I'm going to be hiking on a trail or something.
I was just going to say this. Someone's going to fall over and you're like,
someone's going to fall over and I'll be like, I got this. I can do the bandage. All I need is clean cloth and hot water. And I can do it.
But let me
then
get
I'll
my
realize
bandana on first.
Huh?
Like Claire, get a bandana on in the wilderness of like
yeah. Like the clean cloth is for me to get my nurse's bandana on.
I'm ready.
What about you? Is there
you know what?
If you were walking past a dike and there was a hole in it and water spraying, would you be like, ah?
Like, here. No, do you know actually when I did, one time I can think of when I thought, what would Brianna do, was I'm just very stereotypically English in that I always apologize for myself. And I remember you and I were walking in Glasgow in the Botanics, and I think I tripped over a step or something, or like my own feet, which I tend to do. And I apologized to the step. I was like, oh, sorry. And then I was like, why am I doing that? And I'm trying to channel Brianna more because I just feel like she's so unapologetically herself and just like confident in who she is and ballsy with it. Whereas I'm just like, oh, sorry. And that was the time actually when I thought, wow, I need to channel some more Brie in my life.
What would Brianna do? Brianna would not apologize to the step.
Exactly. Or a lamppost, because I've done that as well.
She'd go back and she'd kick that step.
Exactly.
Tripping her up.
She would actually. She loves to just kick and punch things, doesn't she? Maybe that bit I'll keep away from.
Okay, we're getting through them. At Always Jizzbun, what lessons about motherhood have you taken from playing Claire? Maybe, I mean, it probably won't come into play until much longer, but one of the things, you know, that keeping things from your children creates distance, and I think you have to be your authentic self with your children. And when you are, then that's when, you know, you really have that strong bond.
That's nice. That's a good one.
Yeah. Anna Kate 90. Oh, we've sort of answered that. Okay. Okay. AW2L or 2L. How do you prepare yourself before shooting a very sad or intense scene? Is there anything that you do not let this get into your head and your personal feelings?
Oh, in terms of sort of barriering yourself from it and just protecting yourself.
I guess so, yeah.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it kind of depends on the scene. I always think that I'm quite good at being able to segregate what's screen and what's not. I tend to really work to not take work home emotionally. But then I do think there are certain scenes that obviously you just can't, it's very, very hard to get away from. I was talking about this the other day. I don't know if you found when you've done you've done sexual abuse scenes and things where you feel like it's almost like a muscle memory. You kind of get triggered sometimes by little things. Like it's, I don't know, emotionally maybe you can try and separate, but I think when you do scenes like that, it's very, very hard to then not be in the mindset of people who've been through that, and it's quite a hard thing to segregate, isn't it? I found.
Well, it's a funny thing because I think like you, I think some actors try and like use personal stuff, and you know, I learned very early on that it can be a very damaging thing, and it's a very healthy thing to do, and so I try to very much separate it. And I think, you know, the circumstances of what the character is going through, if you can really, you know, fully immerse yourself and empathize with that, you'll put yourself into that situation. But yeah, when you go through these really kind of tough scenes, you work yourself into a state of fear or stress or, you know, anger, whatever it is. You know, you're simulating these emotions, but your body doesn't really know to a
when
certain extent that you're
yeah.
pretending. And it's one I always kind of, you know, it's a hard thing to sort of understand about your own physiology. How much of it do you absorb? How much of it stays in your muscle memory or any of those things? But I just think it's really important after those scenes that you do something really nice for yourself, like go take a bath or, you know, somehow to like cleanse it out. And
or even just have company around, isn't it, sometimes? Because I'm quite, when I leave work, I just kind of want to just get my head down and just be myself, learn lines, get some sleep. But actually when you've done scenes like that, it's very easy to go into your shell and just want to be on your own. But I think sometimes having company is a good thing. But it actually happened to me after, I think it's season 4, where Brianna goes to confront Bonnet in the jail cell. And after the scene, because I wanted to make sure that Brianna didn't look weak to him. I didn't want her to show her emotion to him. So I was holding so much in. And then when they yelled cut, I just couldn't stop crying. I was like crying for about 10 minutes. I don't think the director knew what to do. It was Mersey, who was amazing. And she was like, are you cool? We good? I was like, yeah, it just finally came out. And it's one of those things that, it's like you said, your body doesn't quite know that, that it's not real sometimes.
Yeah. Ooh. Give you hugs. Okay. All right. So our Gorns, what can we look forward to seeing next in Brianna's life this season?
Do you know what? This is the first season where I feel like Brianna is who she is at her very core. I always think when I say this, it makes me think of Shrek, but I feel like she's a bit of an onion. She has so many layers, and I think she's really hard to get to know. And I think we've seen her go through so much that she's been very reactionary. She's been maybe a bit bratty when she was younger, or she's been angry, she's been sad, she's been everything. This season, I just feel like she's just calm and collected initially for a little bit. And I just think she's really settling into married life and motherhood. And actually, she's just the calm amongst the chaos this season, I feel. So, yeah.
Yay.
Cool collected Brie this season. Here we go.
Cool. Right, we've got 3 minutes, so we'll do one more question. Okay, is this for you? Polami tweets, in season 5, Brie was searching for her purpose on the ridge. Oh wait, no, you've just answered that. Okay. Tina 4276636 for Sophie. How do you prepare or research for Brie's engineering interests and skill in order to portray it so well?
Ooh, there is one thing that Brianna invents this season. Well, there's a couple of things, but one of them, I did actually go back and read just all about how and when it was actually first invented, and really how the mechanics of it work. And also, actually, my best friend's an engineer, so just ask her the odd little question. Yeah.
Is she going to get a credit as an engineering advisor on the show?
Might have to just, I will. Yeah, we should put that at the end. What about Claire's medical stuff? I suppose it's quite good when we have the nurse on set, isn't it?
Well, we have Dr. Claire, not a nurse, Dr. Claire.
Dr. Claire.
Who's been our medical advisor since season 1, and she's amazing. I mean, she's amazing for so many other reasons as well, but just to be able to go through different operations or different scenarios with her, and she's really good because she's like, well, here's what we would do in the real world, in the modern day. Especially this season, there's some like really intense things that Claire has to do. And, you know, she's like, in the ideal scenario, you would do this. If you had limited tools at your disposal, you would do this. And then sometimes she's like, but for filming purposes, we can marry, you know, what you would do with also possibly what they were doing back then, but with your knowledge from this. So she's really good at kind of being able to take all of the different information. You know, I think sometimes some people get like, but I think sometimes people get locked into like, well, this is the way we do it now. And she's really good at kind of figuring out what would be the most practical and yet the most impactful looking thing. So she's incredible.
Yeah, because I guess a lot of it now is about making it clean and tidy as well, isn't it, the end result? Whereas I guess for Claire, it's more just getting it done in a certain time frame as opposed to it being, you know, sort of pretty looking stitches that don't leave a scar or whatever. It's very much just getting the job done. And
exactly.
Need to get Claire a staple gun.
That's what Brianna should be inventing.
This is
All right,
it.
guys. I think this is our time.
Fun. You are the best panelist ever.
Thanks.
Good host.
Just call me host. I'm just proud I managed to get on live a second time, because that first time was
Caitriona
embarrassing.
and I in technology.
I was like staring at the screen. They gave me the wrong instructions, and I was staring at the screen going, but there is no title button. And then I realized it's like, you are live. And people were saying stuff. I was like, oh.
You thought you weren't swearing profusely as it came on.
Not quite. Inside I was. All right. Love you lots, Sophie. And thank you so much to everybody for joining us. We love you lots. I'm sure most of you have already seen the episode at midnight, but if not, enjoy it tonight or tomorrow or whenever it's airing, wherever you are. We put a lot of hard work into it, so we hope you really enjoy it.
Happy end of Outlander.
Happy end of Outlander. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you too.
I don't know how we get off this now.